Geeks, for years, I have been fishing a underspin on deep structure. And I have been preaching how during the dog days of summer, you need to be throwing an underspin. And I'm not talking about your little sissy finesse swim bait underspins. I'm talking about going big or going home. But this is a twist I gotta share with you. So like I said, geeks, I love an underspin on deep structure. And let me tell you, during the summertime, if you're not throwing an underspin, and you know, I'm just kidding about the finesse style, but if you're not throwing an underspin during the summer, I can't tell you how many fish you're leaving in the lake, pond, river, stream. They just eat it this time of year. So what's the twist that we're going to talk about? I love to throw these in tandem. One of them tends to always be the one that the bass wants, and it can change from hour to hour and day to day. I've been throwing this for a little while now. We've talked about it a little bit in a video a few years back, and if you want to see that video, because it's kind of an interesting duo, I'll leave a link to that at the end of this video. Very unique swim bait that we tag up with it. But this is the heavy top spin. So it is a completely different look than the underspin. And what I like about this is they come in a couple different sizes. This is a 3/4. And the other one that I have is a 1 ounce. So they're heavy. They're going to get down there. They've got a small blade on them. So you're not going to get a whole lot of lift out of them. You're going to get a little lift. You got a blade. You got a soft plastic. It's just how it is. The other thing that I like about it is they've got a nice little sled style head on there. So as you're bringing them, you can actually rub the bottom with this and really get it going quick enough, shallower, that it looks like a bait fish just feeding along down on the bottom. You got a little bit of flash, a little bit of vibration. That arm is really light. I think it's a titanium arm, so you're going to get some really good and unusual vibration that you wouldn't get out of a standard spinner bait. And to boot, it's very weedless because it's in line with the hook. I think this is something that the bass just don't see deep, and you can tell, you know, how well they eat this little swim bait. This is one of my favorite swim baits to pair with the deep underspin. It's a good size. This is the Ramsey baits, and I'll leave links in the description to everything in this video. Hey, if you don't care, it helps the channel out. Make sure if you're on a computer, a laptop, bookmark that link down there in the description. If you're not, you're on a phone or some other sort of mobile device, scan that QR code right there and bookmark it on your phone or your tablet. Doesn't cost you a single dime. Anytime you go out to buy something from Tackle Warehouse, please click on that link. It does help the channel. Doesn't cost you an extra penny. So the top spin comes in a couple different sizes. Like I said, this is a 5/0 3/4 ounce head. They also come in a couple of different head colors. The head colors that are my go-to, this is just called Naked. There's no paint on it at all. This is a 1 ounce head, and this is in a color called Glimmer. So I'm going to tell you a few of the baits that I like to use with this, especially during the summer. I like a paddle tail. Now you can rig a straight tail up on this too, especially when it's colder and you're fishing a little bit deeper and a little bit slower. It works incredibly well. But during the summer, some of my go-to baits, I'll use like the 4.5, the 5.5 swammer. This is an incredible little swim bait. This is a 3.5. I didn't bring any of the big ones with me today. It has got an incredible head roll to it, and it gives that bait even more action. Now I'll go all the way up to something this big. This is a big 5-inch swim bait from Ramsey Baits, but something like this, a 5-inch from Bastrix or a 5-inch from Shadowlicious from Strike King is another big one that you can put on this bait and get it down there and get just a little bit extra flash out of it. But I have to say 2 of my go-tos are these 2 right here. This is a 5-inch Easy Shiner from Kitech. I think this is Tackle Warehouse Ghost Shad. I think it's a Tackle Warehouse exclusive color. And a little secret for all you guys fishing one of my home lakes, South Holston, pick up the Alewife color in these and throw on this. Now, probably my go-to overall is this. This is a 3.5-inch Ramsey, and this is what it looks like new. This is what it looks like completely ate up and using some Mendit to hold it together, as you can tell. This has caught several bass already. Now, I'm going to show you how I rig this up. This is definitely my favorite. It's definitely my go-to. And you can kind of tell if it was a new bait, what I would do is I would hold it up there and I would see where that bait is going to come out. And then I would poke me a hole right there where there's already a pretty big hole. Then I'm going to come straight through the middle of the bait. I'll try to come straight as I possibly can and straight up and out. You can see it's got a pretty good keeper on it. And I'm going to push that nose up on there. I'm going to work it up on there. And I will tell you, I will normally put a little dab of glue on there to hold that on this head. But there you have it. Your top spin heavy. Now this, just so you know, is the 3/4 ounce. So as always, geeks, if it's something that doesn't need a loop knot, I'm just going to tie a pit seam knot. So we're just going to bring it up, bend it around about 4 or 5 times, come through that top loop, pull it tight, moisten, slide down, cut the tag in. We are good to go. All right, geeks, let me tell you, I know lithium batteries are expensive, but guess what? Through Lithium Hub, I've got a 10% off discount for the Ionic batteries. And if you haven't seen the new 16 volt, 52 amp hour, small, compact size battery that is designed to fit into a rod locker and power that graph on the front, or it's great for a kayak, or it's great for a 10 boat. It's great for any boat that doesn't have a lot of room. Let me tell you, you need to go check it out. I've got my entire boat powered. We have now run them for 2 years at this point. Haven't had the first problem. We use their charger. Use that 10% discount. Go check out Ionic on Lithium Hub. Put some power to your fun. All right, geeks, so let's talk about what I'm using to throw this top spin by First Gen. This is a Douglas Era, and I have to say, this is an incredible rod series. If you haven't checked them out, this is a $100 rod, retail. I've got a 10% off discount right here. So go out to Douglas and check them out. Links will be in the description. This thing is incredible. I've got the whole lineup of them. This is their spinnerbait, chatterbait rod. And, top spin, spinnerbait, chatterbait. Anyway, a little heavier, but what amazes me is this rod is rated for 3/4 ounces. So, wouldn't necessarily throw the big one on it, but I will tell you this, they've got a frog rod that'd work perfect for this. I also use that for a worm rod. What's great about this is the color, the handles, the feel. You wouldn't believe how much you feel on the bottom with this rod. Make sure you go check them out. Now, I've got that coupled with a Lew's Custom Pro. Now, they've updated this. I'll put links in the description for that too. This is, I believe, a 6/8-1. Now, I will say this, for deeper, that's as fast as I'll go. 6.5 is my preferred. But because I'm using this on my spinnerbait rod and my chatterbait rod, this is perfect. Now, I've got that coupled with K9, another 10% discount for you geeks at home, and that is 12-pound Pro 100% fluorocarbon. Make sure you go check them out. So I really do love fishing this in combo with like a bigger swim bait, soft plastic swim bait, or fishing this in combo with an underspin. A lot of times, maybe even all three of them out on the ledges or deep structure. Again, like the point we've got out here, you'll stay back off of it and you'll throw it and, you know, just kind of let it tick the bottom as it comes down. If you're sitting on the ledge, you'll make a long cast. You'll feed it line, especially if you got a school out there, because we want it falling straight down and coming through that school. Every fish we can get to see it, we want to see it. That's why we don't want it to really pendulum back to us if we're fishing a ledge. And then from there, when we let it hit bottom, we don't want to let it sit there very long. We want to make sure that we give it a quick turn of the handle or a quick snap of the rod tip to get it up, get it started, and then we're going to reel it nice and slow depending on the depth that you're in. So we've been fishing today around that 20 to 25 foot mark, and being a 6/8 to 1, you don't have to turn the handle very fast to keep it up off the bottom. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep this bait either right above the bottom, or we're going to feel the bottom as we're coming around it. It's two different retrieves that you really want to do with this. To me, in the morning, keeping it above the bottom seems to work. But then once you get into those real hot hours of the day, man, let that thing get down there and just grind that bottom. Feel that bottom. It doesn't take a lot to get that blade turning. Now, when it comes to hook set, it is going to be the same way that I set the hook on any of my underspins or swim baits. I'm going to side set because that's a lot of weight up front and that's a lot of tail wiggle. If they come up twisting that head, shaking that head out of the water, they're going to torque that bait out of their mouth. It's going to come swinging by your head. Get them to the boat. Get them to the boat fast. Boat hop their bass in the boat, and don't take chances. If you've got a net man, tell him to do his job. If he ain't there fast enough, give him a good old bass slap with that bass when you're boat hopping it in because he didn't get there on time. Other than that, it's pretty simple bait to use. Get out there and catch some bass, boys. All right, geeks, get out there and try the top spin from First Gen out. I always say show them something different, especially now because they're so pressured out there. This is going to be something that they're not going to see a lot of out there in the depths and in that deep structure in the dog days of August. Get out there and catch a couple of big ones. All right, if you want to see the lighter underspin, in a video we did with a very interesting swim bait that was incredible. I love it during the fall. Make sure you go check out this video right here. Otherwise, questions and comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you'll be part of that 100% Watch Squad by ringing the bell, and that will help us get to 100K geeks. You geeks rock.